Ladies and gentlemen, the wait is finally over. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is officially here. So what I have planned for us is we're going to take this FA-18 Hornet up, kind of fly around, and we're going to be doing some talking about my initial thoughts of the game so far. What I like, what I don't like. There'll be plenty more to come because obviously this just came out and I'm just now in it. So I did take this jet up one time just to work out the keybinds and work out some of the things about the game. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So my controls are not refined, obviously, because I haven't had a whole lot of time messing with the curves and all that stuff. So we will work on that, and then maybe eventually I will make a video about my settings once I get those all ironed out to maybe help some people figure out keybinds and stuff, because I'm having a little bit of a hard time figuring some of them out, like that parking brake. No matter what keybind I make, I still have to manually turn it on and then turn it off to get the parking brakes to release. So I don't know what's up with that. But starting it out, so let's talk about the game launch. So yesterday, November 19th, 2024, the game finally came out. And if you were like me, I was pretty excited. I was pretty excited about this game coming out because Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 was great. It just didn't have a lot of things to do after you got bored. It didn't draw you back in. One thing I do like so far is there's a career mode. There's all kinds of cool stuff to do. But the problem is at launch, when everyone wanted to jump on and try all those things, Microsoft, Azobo, whoever was in charge of that one, decided to cheap out on the cheapest possible servers. And if you were like me, you jumped on after preloading and had a day at work, and you're like, I'm going to jump on and play, just to be met with getting stuck at 97% of loading. And then you got online to check to see what the issue was, and Microsoft recommended, oh, just restart your game. It should load just fine. So you restart your game just to get stuck at 0%, and then get stuck in a queue for hours and hours and hours. And so my problem with that is this isn't a game studio that just started making games. Flight Simulator is probably one of the OG games out there, and I'm going to keep referring to it as a game until they get all these things ironed out, and it'll become a simulator again. It's getting there, but one of the biggest flaws was they decided to reduce the download size of the game and start putting most of the game files on a server, so that way you stream it. And the issue with that is when you have your entire customer base log in at the same time to play this game, you crash the servers. So I would have much rather had an 8,000 gigabyte download and have to wait for that, rather than have the game ready to go and get stuck in a queue, and then have the audacity to tell people to have patience. This is not a studio that has just started making games. This is a studio who, if you remember, Flight Simulator 1, I don't remember what year it was. It was in the late 80s, early 90s. This has been around for a while. They've been doing this for a long time. They're one of the OGs of making games and simulators. So it's not like they couldn't have seen this coming. And this might have been helped with if they did, I don't know, early release beta. They could have staggered the launch times. Yes, people probably would have used a VPN and probably tried to get earlier access to it in their part of the world. But with the amount of people that would have done that and got those early accesses, it would have been a very small minority. They would have been way better at launch. I don't have a VPN, so I would have had to wait until it released, and I probably would have had a better few things to say about this so far. But unfortunately, I don't. One thing I don't like about the streaming is, as you can see, everything's very blocky. I don't have terrible internet. You can see the cockpit, the preloaded stuff. It's pretty good. But once you fly into certain areas for long enough, like we might turn around here and go see what's behind us, because that should have loaded just fine. The physics of Flight Sim 2024 seem to be fine. They're not as noticeably arcadey as 2020. There seems to be a little bit more realism, I will say. When I was messing with settings yesterday, last night, I will say, I am recording this super early in the morning because I woke up early. When I was playing it yesterday and messing with keybinds and settings, and the terrain was actually fully loaded in, and it had enough time to do that, it did look very good. It doesn't feel as blocky as 2020 did. So I do appreciate that. I just wish that, you know, they would have realized that not every customer has high-speed fiber optic cable, Starlink download speeds. So that's going to hinder everyone's gameplay. I don't think that's going to bring a lot of return customers after they log in and see that in 2020. Or in 2024, sorry. So I think there was a couple big mistakes, a couple big oversights on their part that could have been fixed with some, you know, customer feedback. But they said, no, we got it. Watch this. We'll launch it with no testing, no beta, and it's going to be great. And it wasn't, and it isn't. Will I continue to fly it? Yeah, absolutely, because I know that, you know, all these will get ironed out, and this will become seamless, and this will become just a distant memory. And we will forget that, you know, this all ever happened, and we'll continue to throw money at this game. But until then, those are my gripes about it so far. Like I said, the things I do like, though, are the career mode. I haven't messed with it yet, but I see you can be, you know, you can do firefighting. You can be a rescue helicopter pilot. I don't know how helicopters are going to work in this yet. Do I need to go get some hardware for the collective and all that stuff for a because I do want to fly the helicopters. But having said that, I don't think everyone is going to want to fly helicopters, and if there's not a feasible way to make it work on mouse and keyboard or a HOTAS or joystick, I don't know how many people are actually going to go run out and buy helicopter hardware for that. And what I'm getting at is there seems to be a lot of content made for helicopters. There's a lot of helipads in the main menu, so that leads me to believe that they're gearing a lot of content in the game toward helicopter pilots, which it will be very interesting to do. I personally will do it, and I will have fun doing it, I'm sure. I just don't know if everyone is super excited to run out and become helicopter pilots when 98% of the fan base of Microsoft Flight Simulator likes to fly civilian airliners and Cessnas and stuff like that. And that's where I make these videos, because hopefully you're watching this because you're a military jet enthusiast like myself. And at launch, I bought the standard edition because if I'm being honest, I foresaw a lot of issues with this game coming out at launch, so I didn't go out and rush and buy the most expensive one. I bought the cheapest one. And at launch, we have the FA-18 Hornet, and it looks like we have the Warthog, the A-10 Warthog, which I'll be testing out in a later flight. I remember the one from 2020 I absolutely loved once it was in the air, but what I hated was every time you did a hot start on the runway, it didn't matter. You had to do the auto start sequence to get it to even fly. So you had to sit on the runway for a couple minutes. And that was the problem, was like me and my friends would jump in and do a convoy flight from one area to another, and we'd, you know, choose different aircraft. Sometimes it was military, sometimes it wasn't. And when it was military aircraft, we liked to take the Hornet. Or not the Hornet, sorry, the Warthog. And if I had to, you know, if I crashed or something like that, I'd meet them at another airport and they would fly over or something like that, and I'd have to wait for the auto start sequence to take over and do its thing. So it's that I had a whole problem with the A-10 is what I'm getting at. So I'm hoping that's not a thing. I'm hoping that's fixed. I'm guessing that this FA-18 is just the same one from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It flies very similar with adapted physics, or the flight model for the modern. So I like it so far. Seems great. The screens, those are full brightness, by the way. I had to turn the HUD down because one thing I don't like is the HUD doesn't turn off when you're in the cockpit. Little spoiled from DCS. When you look out, you get a HUD. You look back, and it turns off. So got a little spoiled from playing DCS so much. That would be a nice feature is when I'm looking here and I'm trying to read the screen, but as dark as it is, I'm not being hindered by this this HUD. And I don't want to turn it on and off every time. If you're looking for it, by the way, it's that knob right there, HMD, helmet mounted display. So those are my initial thoughts. I will say I'm more happy now that I'm in the game. I'm more happy than I was when I was staring and playing Loading Simulator 2024. I was honestly contemplating a refund. I honestly thought about it. But I realized that once we get past all this stuff and they figure all this stuff out, then I'm sure we'll be able to make some good content and have some fun flying in the FA-18. And we will see what lies ahead for us in this game. I know they already said there's some third-party support for aftermarket aircraft, which I'm more than happy to download a couple of those. But I'm more interested, I'm less interested in how a third party can make a aircraft as I am how good of a game this is going to be. Because if they're just reskinned and just recoded for Microsoft 2024, it's not really a new plane, and you don't really get a feel how the new game is. I want new aircraft, brand new aircraft, ground up, kind of like we got all the time in Flight Simulator 2020. I remember when the Tomcat came out, I was super happy. There's quite a few good ones, quite a few bad ones, and that's still going to be a gripe of mine that Microsoft even allowed things like the Skyhawk to be sold. That's just a money grab. There's going to be planes out there that are just money grabs. They get them blasted off on, they get put in the marketplace, put them up for $40, and you fly it, and the whole time it's just I can't even recreate it in this plane. But it's just bouncing like this the whole time, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, but way worse. So it's absolutely a cash grab for some of those planes. So as new jets come out, what I'm going to do is I'll be the sacrificial horse, and I will buy them. I'll test them, and I will do those videos like I did before. The top 10, top 20, actually it was like top 9, top 15 military jets in the game. So I will let you know how good they're going to be, especially around Christmas time, because there's going to be a lot of people who get Christmas money, or they're going to get this game for Christmas, and they're going to be like, all right, I have the game, what's the first thing I should buy? So instead of wasting money on aircraft that are absolutely terribly put together, I will hopefully be able to recommend a better aircraft to start with. But as of right now, the FA-18 is a good solid start. It's fast, it's pretty easy to fly. This thing's got a lot of assists in it, which I haven't even checked to make sure all the assists are off yet in the settings. So I will go back and check all those, because what I don't want is a bunch of assists helping me fly. 'Cause I don't know if you noticed at the very beginning when I took off and the nose came up and it went level over the airstrip. That wasn't me. That was the aircraft doing that. It's taken me 2 or 3 times to take off to realize that the aircraft is helping me take off, and not just because as soon as I took over and tried to fly it, I just basically just dolphin dived up and down the airstrip. Probably destroyed the front and rear landing gear. But so those are my initial thoughts. I would love to know what you guys think. I've seen quite a few comments already on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, on the Reddit forums. I've been snooping around, even on Facebook, just listening, seeing what people think, and I have a feeling that everyone's kind of feeling the same way I am about that launch. It's just, if you've been making games for 20, 25 years, and you're one of the OGs, I mean, Flight Simulator used to be on floppy disks. Floppy disks. And the launch at 2024 was the worst I've seen in any game at any time. So that's where I'm kind of like, I'm torn because they've been doing this for so long. Fans were super excited because this is like probably it has the potential to be the best flight simulator ever based on what I've seen so far. And I have a feeling that a lot of people returned their game yesterday because they paid $200 for a flight simulator, got in at launch, and couldn't play it. So, again, tell me what you think, and we can have a conversation about it in the comments. I try to comment back to everybody, so I will do my best, depending on how many people there are. If there's 5, we can have great conversations. If there's 100, be spread out. So, just let me know what you think, and then please stick around the channel. I am going to be making more content. As I did before, I will try to review every jet as it comes out. I will do the top jets once there's enough of them out. I will try to find exploits to go back to space like I did originally, or whatever exploits there are in the game. I will be hunting for them. Believe you me, I will be hunting for them. I'm trying to get my buddy Tiger Teal to jump on as well. He got it, and he was stuck in the loading screen yesterday while I was figuring out the buttons. So he's kind of already had that first bad impression of the game. So I got to try to bring him back in. Got a couple other people I'm trying to get into the game to fly with me. So hopefully it won't just be a single-sided conversation like it is right now. And just like most of my content for 2020, hopefully this time around we will have some 3 idiots play Microsoft Flight Simulator, or we can just do some community events if you want to join the Discord. I do have merch in the link. That's 100% up to you. If you enjoy content, all that stuff, want to buy a sticker or something like that, it'd be great. But yeah, this is my initial thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you out there.